out on a limb and somehow still had to create his way out of that. He was just really a one in a billion type person. I was lucky to know him.
So, Prince passed away 8 years ago, and man, it was a shocker that rocked the whole world. But the thing is, ever since his death, there's been this cloud of mystery hanging over what really happened. But guess what? It seems like we might finally be getting some closure on one of the biggest mysteries in music history. Rumor has it that there's more to Prince's death than meets the eye. And guess who's seemingly at the center of all this speculation? None other than Katt Williams, the guy who's been dropping truth bombs left and right lately. Word on the street is that Katt might have some insider knowledge about what really went down with Prince. And get this, there's allegedly some pretty compelling evidence to back it up. Apparently, Prince's final words before he passed away hinted at the possibility that someone was out to get him. Now, I know it sounds like something out of a thriller movie, but bear with me. The grapevine is buzzing with talk that Katt Williams could hold the key to unraveling this whole mystery. It's like something straight out of a conspiracy theory, but hey, stranger things have happened. So, without further ado, let's get into it. Now, before we dive into the mystery, let's clear up why Katt Williams might be the guy to spill the beans. Turns out, Katt and Prince were tight. I mean, they were close like peanut butter and jelly. In that unforgettable interview with Club Shay Shay, Katt spilled the beans. Shannon Sharpe, the man himself, asks Katt about meeting Prince, and Katt just drops the bomb that Prince was a friend of his, a real friend. Now, Shannon, being the fan that he is, goes into full-on admiration mode for Prince's talents, playing all the instruments, singing, dancing, the whole package. And Katt just nods along, saying Prince was unlike anybody else in the world. He even said that he knew Price his entire life. Katt spills the beans on their deep connection, talking about sharing thoughts on lyrics, music, women, and cars. Yeah, apparently Prince's car collection tells a story, and Katt Williams is part of that story. They were in sync about the important stuff: musical genius, the ladies, and of course those sweet rides. Katt even reveals how they helped each other out in various ways, especially in navigating the tough business side of things.
He was just an amazing individual. I was able to meet him when I was 12, and I knew him my entire life through all of his changes. I was able. It's me, because we share certain things. Our connection was lyrics, musical lyrics, women, and cars. Out on a limb and somehow still had to create his way out of that. He was just really a one in a billion type person. I was lucky to know him.
So when Katt Williams hints that he's got the lowdown on what really went down with Prince's departure, it's not just some random dude speculating. It's someone who was there, someone who shared more than just a few laughs with the Purple One. Also, in a 2022 interview with Arsenio Hall, Katt spilled the beans on how he was inspired by Prince and spent a cool 5 years as a rapper before transitioning into the comedy scene. Turns out this whole journey kicked off after a meetup with the Purple One at the ripe age of 12. According to Katt, this encounter went down in Dayton, Ohio, where Prince was doing his thing at the University of Dayton Arena. And get this, Katt claims he knew Prince his entire life, considering him a guiding force. He even credits the legendary singer for boosting his self-esteem to new heights, calling Prince the reason he's got that confident swagger. Now, in classic Katt Williams style, he goes on to drop some wisdom about Prince being a high thinker and a dude always 30 steps ahead of the curve. I mean, we all know Prince was a musical genius, playing more instruments than most of us can name. But here's the kicker. Katt suggests that Prince taught him a thing or two about embracing your uniqueness. According to Katt, Prince basically said, hey, you can be short, light-skinned, with long hair, and as long as the ladies love you, who cares what others think?
He was a high thinker and a guy that was always 30 steps ahead of whatever the curve.
Now let's get to the creepy part. So we all remember the story that was fed to us. Prince, the legendary artist, left us at 57, found unresponsive in his Minnesota estate. The official word was it was an accidental fentanyl overdose, thanks to some counterfeit Vicodin laced with a seriously potent synthetic opioid. But let's be real, that left a lot of us with questions, and those questions are still hanging in the air. And now some fans are connecting the dots between Katt saying Prince was always 30 steps ahead and the cryptic stuff Prince said before he left us. People are throwing around theories that maybe Katt was clued into something Prince knew, something sinister, like folks plotting to take Prince out. You know how Prince was known for dropping cryptic lines, and some believe he might have let Katt in on the scoop. Now let's dive deep into the rabbit hole of the theories surrounding Prince's death, because some folks out there think the official reports are nothing but a bunch of BS. Alright, let's talk about the weird puzzle pieces that don't quite fit when it comes to Prince's health. Now, we all know Prince was the poster child for clean living, right? Vegan, no booze abuse, a workout routine that probably put us all to shame, the whole shebang. So when the news hit that he died from a painkiller overdose, it was like, wait, what? Even the big shots in the industry like L.A. Reid were scratching their heads. In a chat on CBS, Louisiana Reid spills the beans that he believed Prince was all good in the health department. The guy was health conscious to the max. Vegan lifestyle, no alcohol binges, and definitely not known for popping pills. But here's where it gets real odd. The interviewer asks Reid about Prince's health problems, and L.A. Reid's like, I don't know. He spills the tea on how Prince's commitment to staying healthy actually freaked him out. Like, if you're doing everything right, eating green, pumping iron, the whole deal, and still kick the bucket early, what's the deal?
Right. What I know is that he was really health conscious. He was a vegan. He didn't abuse alcohol. I didn't know of him abusing. That also really concerned me because it made me think that, wow, so you mean you do all these things to take care of yourself and you die so young?
Now, there were whispers that Prince wasn't doing so hot in the weeks leading up to his departure. Canceled shows, emergency landings, and a dose of an anti-opiate. Things were clearly off. But here's the head scratcher. If he OD'd less than a month before, why wasn't he under the watchful eye of a doc? I mean, common sense, right? The fact that Prince wasn't getting the medical TLC he needed is raising some eyebrows, especially when you consider the business side of things. If you're booking tour dates, you'd want to make sure the headliner is in top shape, right? No unexpected cancellations, especially at the big venues. It's like we're missing a crucial piece of the puzzle here. And the mystery of Prince's health just keeps getting weirder. Also, this Prince mystery, seriously, it's like a plot straight out of a thriller movie. So here's the thing. Prince was found in the same elevator he once called the devil. Yeah, you heard that right. Reid spilled the spooky details on CBS, and it's enough to give you chills. Reid shared a bone-chilling story about Prince's take on elevators. Apparently, during a private moment, Prince dropped the bomb that the elevator is, well, the devil. Reid was spooked, and who wouldn't be? Now, fast forward to the day we all heard about Prince being found lifeless. In an elevator. Talk about a haunting coincidence.
One time when I was with him privately, he said, you know what the elevator is, right? No. I said, no, what's the elevator? He said, well, the elevator is the devil. And so for me, it was like really haunting when I read that he was found in an elevator.
But the oddities don't end there. People are scratching their heads about why Prince was alone at Paisley Park. Sure, the man was insanely private, but really? No servants, no security, no assistants. Nada? It's getting real sus, folks. I mean, wouldn't you expect at least someone to be around, especially considering his status? And here's where it gets even more mind-boggling. There were whispers and predictions floating around that Prince was on a collision course with destiny. His last Instagram post, right before his untimely departure, had folks raising eyebrows. It featured a picture of him with a caption that said, "Just when you thought you were safe." Now I get it. Prince had a knack for the cryptic, but this post had some folks thinking he knew something was up. Also, it turns out, he might have predicted his own exit not once, but twice. At a party at Paisley Park, just days before he left us, Prince reportedly dropped a major bomb on attendees saying, "Wait a few days before you waste any prayers." Now, if that's not a cryptic message, I don't know what is. But here's where it gets even spookier. There's this allegation floating around that Prince painted a target on his own back by diving into the controversial topic of chemtrails. In an interview, he spilled the beans about his childhood memories of seeing these trails in the sky. Cool, right? But then he takes a left turn, talking about how everyone in his neighborhood started fighting and arguing after these trails appeared. Now, for context, there's this long-standing theory about the government using jet trails to spread who knows what for population control. Prince talking about it on TV allegedly made some powerful people not too happy.
You know, when I was a kid, I used to see these trails in the sky all the time, and so that's cool. A jet just went over. And then you started to see a whole bunch of them.
And if that's not enough, it gets even creepier. In an episode of The Simpsons titled Treehouse of Horror, they throw in a segment where Homer Simpson takes out a bunch of celebrities, including someone referred to as a purple one. Yeah, you guessed it, the unique shaped guitar seals the deal, and it's by order of the government. Now, whether it's coincidence or conspiracy, it's enough to give you goosebumps. Also, let's dive into the epic battle Prince had with Warner Bros, because trust me, it's a saga of its own. Back in the day, when Prince was rocking the scene and signed to Warner Bros, the struggle began. He laid it out saying, "I own the work because I paid for it and I did all the work." Straight up, he created it, so he figured it should belong to him. But surprise, surprise, the companies had a different idea.
The way I looked at it, I owned the work because I paid for it. And I did all the work. I created it, so I felt like it should belong to me. That said, the companies
Prince waged a war against Warner Bros., fighting tooth and nail for ownership of his rights and more creative control. It wasn't a walk in the park, especially since he was trying to break free from a deal he signed when he was just 19. The battle got so real that he famously started appearing with the word slave on his face in 1999, a bold statement to say the least. In an interview with Paper Mag, Prince spilled the tea on wanting to buy back his masters from Warner Bros. Their response? A solid no way. So what did Prince do? He dropped a bomb saying, "I'm going to re-record them, all of them." Picture this, 2 catalogs with almost the same music, but Prince's version, well, that's going to be the superior one. You can either toss your money to the big company or support NPG, New Power Generation, he said. The man had choices, and he wanted you to make them. Prince didn't hold back about the industry's grip on artists in other interviews either. He laid it out plain and simple, saying, "As long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. Only a select few make it big, while the majority are left in the dust."
Youth.
And as long as you're signed to a contract, you're going to take a minority share of the winnings. A select few of us will do well, the majority will not.
Fast forward a bit, and Prince eventually cut ties with Warner Bros. But, plot twist, he rejoined them in 2014, this time with ownership of his old masters. There was a catch, though. The label held the global licensing right. Now here's where the conspiracy theories kick in. Some fans are whispering that maybe, just maybe, the industry wasn't too happy about Prince reclaiming control, and that might have played a part in the tragic turn of events. Kanye West, like Prince, has expressed frustration with the lack of ownership artists have over their masters, and has advocated for artists to regain control over their work. Back in 2020, Kanye took to Twitter and dropped some truth bombs by posting pages of his Universal Music Group, UMG, deal. He straight up called it a form of slavery, no sugarcoating. Kanye got real about the dark side of signing a music deal. In his words, when you ink that contract, you're basically waving bye-bye to your right. No masters, no control. Someone else decides when and where your music gets played. The artists? Well, they're left with just the fame, touring, and merch. And let's be real, that's not owning your own creative baby. In one tweet, Kanye laid it all out, saying, "We've gotten comfortable with not having what we deserve." He called out the industry for letting artists have a taste of the good life, a bit of money from touring, some flashy chains, alcohol, a few girls, and fake numbers to boost the ego. But the real kicker? They don't own their masters. So Kanye's out here echoing Prince's battle cry against the giants in the music biz. It's like a recurring theme, artists fighting for what's rightfully theirs. The industry might toss a few treats, but when it comes to ownership, it's a different story. Now let's shift gears and dive into the life and career of the legendary Prince. Why is this guy loved by pretty much everyone? Prince Rogers Nelson was born on June 7, 1958, in Minneapolis to Maddie Della, née Shaw, a jazz singer, and John Lewis Nelson, a pianist and songwriter. His roots traced back to Louisiana, with all 4 of his grandparents hailing from there. Notably, his grandaunt, Mittie Maud Lena Gordon, was a black nationalist who established the peace movement of Ethiopia, advocating emigration to West Africa in response to American white supremacy. The musical influence ran in the family, as Prince's paternal cousin was the jazz drummer Louis Hayes. Prince inherited his stage name from his father's performance moniker Prince Rogers, which was used during his time in a jazz group called the Prince Rogers Trio, where he performed with Prince's mother, Maddie Della. In 1991, Prince's father shared on a current affair that he named his son Prince with the desire for him to accomplish everything he had wanted to do. However, Prince wasn't a fan of his name and preferred to be called Skipper during his childhood, a nickname that stuck. Prince, mentioning that he was born epileptic, revealed that he experienced seizures in his youth. According to him, one day he confidently told his mother that he wouldn't be sick anymore because an angel had informed him so. This childhood experience left a lasting impact on Prince, shaping his unique perspective on life. After graduating from Central High School in 1976, Prince embarked on his musical journey. He teamed up with producer Chris Moon to create a demo tape in Moon's Minneapolis studio. However, facing difficulty securing a recording contract, Moon brought the tape to Minneapolis businessman Owen Husney. At the age of 19, Prince signed a management contract with Husney, who, along with producer-engineer David Z, helped him create another demo at Sound 80 Studios in Minneapolis. This demo, accompanied by a press kit from Husney's ad agency, sparked interest interest from major record companies such as Warner Bros. Records, A&M Records, and Columbia Records. Ultimately, with the assistance of Husney, Prince inked a recording contract with Warner Bros. The deal granted Prince creative control for 3 albums while allowing him to retain his publishing rights. Prince and Husney relocated to Sausalito, California, where Prince's debut album, For You, was recorded at Record Plant Studios. The album, featuring Prince's remarkable prowess as he wrote, produced, arranged, composed, and played all 27 instruments, was mixed in Los Angeles and released on April 7, 1978. In 1979, Prince formed a band including Andre Simone on bass, DZ Dickerson on guitar, Gail Chapman and Dr. Fink on keyboards, and Bobby Z on drums. Their first performance was at the Capri Theater on January 5, 1979. Although Warner Bros. Executives attended the show, they believed Prince and the band needed more time to develop their music. Later that year, in October 1979, Prince released the self-titled album Prince, which gained considerable success. It reached number 4 on the Billboard Top R and B/ Black Albums charts and number 22 on the Billboard 200, achieving platinum status. The album featured hits like Why You Wanna Treat Me So Bad and I Wanna Be Your Lover, the latter selling over 1 million copies and reaching number 11 on the Billboard Hot 100 and number 1 for 2 weeks on the Hot Soul Singles chart. In the early 1980s, Prince, according to his former manager Bob Cavallo, had an unusual demand for his management: secure a deal for him to star in a major motion picture. This was despite his limited exposure at the time, mainly comprising pop and R&B hits, music videos, and occasional TV performances. This bold move led to the creation of the hit film Purple Rain, 1984, a loosely autobiographical piece starring Prince, along with the eponymous studio album serving as the film's soundtrack. Purple Rain became a massive success, selling over 13 million copies in the US and spending an impressive 24 consecutive weeks at number 1 on the Billboard 200 chart. The film earned Prince an Academy Award for Best Original Song Score and grossed over $68 million in the US. Songs from the film, such as When Doves Cry and Let's Go Crazy, reached number 1 on pop charts globally, while the title track hit number 2 on the Billboard Hot 100. In 1984, Prince achieved a remarkable feat, holding the number 1 album, single, and film simultaneously in the US, a first for any artist. Purple Rain holds a revered position, ranking 8th in Rolling Stone's 500 Greatest Albums of All Time and making Time magazine's all-time 100 albums list. The album also earned Prince 2 Grammy Awards at the 27th Annual Grammy Awards. In 1993, facing conflicts with Warner Bros. Over the release of his extensive music catalog, Prince adopted the love symbol as his stage name, leading to his infamous monikers, the artist formerly known as Prince, or simply the artist. By 1994, frustrated with Warner Bros. Restrictions on his creative freedom and what he perceived as insufficient marketing for the Love Symbol album, Prince began releasing albums in quick succession to fulfill his contractual obligations. He also started appearing with the word slave written on his face as a protest. This tumultuous period saw the official release of the Black Album 7 years after its initial recording. Eventually, Warner Bros. Yielded to Prince's demands, releasing an album of new material titled Come. Rolling into 1996, Chaos and Disorder marked Prince's last album of fresh material for Warner Bros. Unfortunately, it didn't set the commercial charts ablaze and landed on the less successful side of Prince's discography. Fast forward to May 16, 2000, and Prince decided to ditch the love symbol as his name, mainly because his publishing contract with Warner Chappell had run its course. During a press conference, he made it clear that the name Prince had become associated with undesirable relationships, and now freed from those entanglements, he was ready to embrace his real name once again. However, don't think the love symbol vanished completely. Prince still rocked it as a logo, adorned his album artwork with it, and shredded on a love symbol-shaped guitar. Following Rave Unto the Joy Fantastic, Prince took a turn in his music distribution strategy. Instead of the traditional route, he dropped new tunes primarily through his internet subscription service, npgonlineltd.com, later rebranded as npgmusicclub.com.now. Let's jump to February 8, 2004, where Prince shared the Grammy stage with none other than Beyoncé. Opening the show, they delivered a jaw-dropping medley featuring Purple Rain, Let's Go Crazy, Baby I'm a Star, and Beyoncé's Crazy in Love. A musical feast indeed, and the accolades kept rolling in. The next month, Prince snagged a spot in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Alicia Keys, along with Big Boy and Andre 3000 of Outkast, had the honor of presenting him with the well-deserved award. On February 4th, 2007, Prince took center stage at the Super Bowl XLI halftime show in Miami, Florida, performing on a colossal stage shaped like his iconic symbol. This gig reached a whopping 140 million television viewers, marking his largest audience ever. Moving forward to the music scene, Prince dropped his second-to-last album, Hit and Run Phase 1, on September 7th, 2015, initially on Tidal, before wider release on CD and download on September 14th. The final chapter, Hit and Run Phase 2, continued the journey and hit Tidal for streaming and download on December 12, 2015. In February 2016, Prince kicked off the piano and a microphone tour, a stripped-down showcase featuring just him and a custom piano. The tour made its way through the United States, but faced an abrupt halt due to illness in April 2016. Prince's health struggles led him to consult with medical professionals, including a Twin Cities family medicine specialist, Michael T. Schulenberg. Despite postponing shows and battling influenza, Prince pushed through to perform his supposed final show on April 14, 2016, only to become unresponsive on a flight back to the Twin Cities the next morning. After an emergency landing in Moline, Illinois, Prince left against medical advice. Seeking help, Prince's representatives contacted Howard Kornfeld, an addiction medicine specialist, on April 20, 2016. Tragically, it was too late. At 57, Prince was found unresponsive in an elevator at Paisley Park, and despite efforts to revive him, he was pronounced dead on April 21, 2016. The autopsy revealed an accidental overdose of fentanyl, and the music world mourned the loss of this iconic artist. Tributes and vigils lit up cities across the U.S., and social media erupted in remembrance. In 2016, Prince was posthumously inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Music Hall of Fame. His legacy endures, with Prince being hailed as one of the greatest musicians of his generation. Rolling Stone placed him at number 27 on the list of 100 greatest artists, and he claimed the number 16 spot on the 2023 list of the 200 greatest singers of all time. As a performer, his flamboyant style and showmanship left an indelible mark, and his influence echoes in the work of artists like Beyoncé, Justin Timberlake, Bruno Mars, Rihanna, Alicia Keys, and many more. Wow, Prince's achievements are truly mind-blowing, and we barely scratched the surface. His success was off the charts, and one can't help but wonder what more he could have accomplished if his life hadn't been tragically cut short. As Prince often spoke about issues within the music industry and the struggles he faced, it's not surprising that some folks entertain the idea that higher powers might have played a role in his demise. Conspiracy theories surrounding Prince's death go beyond just record labels and companies. They venture into the realm of the Illuminati. Some people believe that secret societies and higher forces were involved in orchestrating Prince's exit from the stage of life. But I'm curious to know what you guys think of all this. What do you reckon happened to Prince? Do you think there's more to the story than meets the eye? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and we'll catch you in the next video.